card with a sweet one, please. Someone flicks me a bad body. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah. It's a full run, yeah. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah.
Evening, folks. Apologies, slight technical issues there. StreamYard, you need to fix up. But other than that, we go again. Back to what I was saying. So if you was Parker's manager, 3 opponents, you got Caballero, you got Dylan White, and you've got Moses Atuma. Which one would you go for and why?
I'll go for Ajit Caballero. Reason why is because, you know, if you're a warrior, if you're a fighter, it just makes sense to go for the best possible opponent out there. And for me, the best possible opponent has to be Ajit Caballero. Usyk's obviously occupied, Fury's occupied, Joshua's occupied, Dubois occupied, you know, Zhang's occupied. So so I'll obviously big up to Ra as well. He's obviously saying got to be White. Ra, big up to you yesterday. You obviously went to Top Tier's event yesterday, so big up to Johnny. So guys, if you didn't see the first, you know, televised, I would say they're grassroots, you know, promotional outfit, and they've just done a tremendous part, man. So big up to Ra. Just wanted to just give him a quick shout out there as well. So, cuz he's saying White. What you saying, cuz?
Of course, no, I'm saying White. You know, a rematch. You know, is it going to be repeat revenge? And how would the outcome be? Because obviously, you know, you've got Parker. He's been doing so well. You've got Dylan coming back from his, you know, suspension. And get it on again. You know, perhaps them two on the Saudi undercard, on the Riyadh undercard. I mean, me personally, as a fan, I don't want to see Dylan and Derek Chisora trilogy. We've seen it already. We've seen 1 and 2. Let's just leave it there. If anything, I want to see Derek Chisora challenge Emmanuel Char, and probably Baby Miller.
Yeah, no, that sounds interesting. Obviously, big up to Hakan Johansson as well. Always loving the energy. That's a good shout, cuz I'm not gonna lie, it's a good shout. I wouldn't mind also to see White and Parker. I think that would be interesting as well. And but Ajit Caballero, for me, man, he has to you know, have that opportunity. He's earned it. Just through his performances, through what he's done, I think he's looking good.
Well, you know, end of the day, we'll see. Conor Benn said that he wants to have a big fight. Now, I know you're going to be talking about blah, 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 the whole issue, what's going on with him, but as it stands, I believe we should be hearing something as of next week or 2 weeks' time. But in this current moment, the biggest fight that I can see him fighting at the moment, no, it's not Chris Eubank Jr. because he's tied up with a fight. It will be Haney.
Well, Conor Benn and Horney, yeah, I just don't have any respect for them two if they fight each other.
Really?
That's dead. I don't want to see Haney versus Conor Benn. That, for me, it's not really interesting, man. Reason why it's not interesting, because I want to see Haney avenge that loss or that situation with Garcia. Why are them two not getting back in the ring and settling the score? Just in my opinion, but obviously Garcia just clean, you know, no issues with whatever. Let them get back in the ring, because from the boxing world, yes, we obviously saw suspension and whatever's happened, man, but we still saw what happens, man, on a night, you know, if anything goes. And we saw obviously what happened to Haney, of course, man. Big up PYP Boxing. What's up, gentlemen? It's big up to you from Texas. Loving the energy. So he's obviously saying Met Joe ringside. No, that's great. No, big up to you. And we got Dan Evans. Evening, guys. Hopefully all you. Yep. No, we're good. And Ben will fight Boots next.
Who knows? Well, look, I said Haney because I thought it'll probably be an easier option for him. Not to say he beats Haney. I'm just saying Haney. But if he wants boots, hey, let's have it.
He doesn't.
I mean, I know a lot of people are going to
Doesn't
complain.
deserve it, cuz man. He doesn't deserve it.
What if after all of this year he's actually innocent?
What if he what, sorry, cuz?
After all of this madness here, he's actually innocent, not guilty. He's actually innocent. He got spiked or whatever. He's actually innocent.
No, cuz for me, it's nothing to do with the whole eggs situation or whatever, man. That's not my issue. My issue is he hasn't done enough in a ring, boxing ring. I know he's had these suspension stuff, but when he was active, he still didn't warrant a title shot situation for me. Like, there's so many guys above him at 147, man. I could just, like, you know, you got Mario Barrios should be talking to Boots about a unification. Staniosis, man. You know, you got other, you know, potential 147 fighters that, you know, should be having that conversation with Boots about a unification. We obviously had his dad, you know, on the show. I know that fight's not obviously happening, of course, man, but Brian Norman Jr. as well. He's obviously going to be fighting someone else who's coming up in, you know, in the card that's coming up in November. So, yeah, cuz I just think there's so many guys in the queue, man, before Ben. Just my thinking anyway. That Ben's not that great. Look, cuz we're getting American here saying he's not that great. And can we argue with him? Because he's not seen enough of Ben. He's not seen enough of Ben.
You know,
he's not seen enough of Ben.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like Conor Ben. You know, I think Conor Ben, in the division that he's in, yes, it's a tough one. There's greater opponents, but then I suppose at the same time, it's this test that he needs, isn't it? Because look, don't get me wrong. Obviously, his opponents that he fought, they were like no longer in their prime. But it's just like it's getting him the fights, because you got to think about it. He's big in Britain. He's not big. He hasn't conquered America properly yet for people to say, oh, he's a superstar. Because obviously it's just the name that carries weight.
Has he held the British title?
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, has he held the European title?
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, so how does he suddenly just get through to world title, man? Just like at least British, man. Like at least. But maybe his name has gone past that stage, you know, through, you know, his association with his dad or whatever, man. But I think he's talented. I think, you know, he should be in these fights. But I just think there's other guys that have warranted, you know, shots before him because they've been, you know, grafting. Like Chris Congo, for example, like you know, he won obviously the IBO international title, you know, just at the O2 not too long ago. Why not, you know, potential discussion about him fighting Conor Ben maybe? But you know, that's a subject for another day.
You know,
I don't want to too much, man. But
with Ben, I think the reason why he wants a big fight because it's a big payday, and obviously him not being as active. Not that I'm saying it's affected his, you know, his lifestyle. No, but it's just like he knows what he brings to the table. He knows it. He knows his worth. Now, I get what you're trying to say. You're saying he's not world level. He can't be competing with the likes of Boots or blah blah blah.
Because he hasn't earned it. But he hasn't earned it. That's what I'm trying to say.
As an individual, it's just like, you know, it's a tough one because look, I'm going to do a slight comparison here, but it's just like Ben and Eubank. They're both in the same.
No.
Okay, go on.
Eubank has still registered, you know, being a world champion. He still won the IBO. He still fought at British level. You know, he still, you know, had title shots and been in the mix with George Groves, and obviously had Liam Smith just not too long ago, man. He's still been in those fights, man. So he still warrants, you know, that shot against Canelo. You heard him talking in interviews saying, look, he wants these big fights. Can we argue with Chris Eubank Jr. to have these big fights? Or can we argue that Conor Ben, he hasn't got in the ring with no one, cuz, man. He hasn't got in the ring with no one to warrant a world title shot, especially against a Boots, for example. He doesn't deserve it. Just my opinion, anyway.
Okay, I think in that case, I think Ben should then fight David and Abanese.
This is where we're talking, because that makes sense. That makes sense for both fighters as well. So we can kind of measure, you know, how Ben takes out a Venetian. Do you know what I mean? We can kind of measure, and then, you know, once we've seen, okay, this is what he's done, you can do an eliminator, and if he wins that eliminator, then you know, title shots, man. But I think via the WBA, he must be ranked third from what Brian Norman Sr. was saying yesterday on the show. So yeah, it's just interesting. It's interesting what's going on, especially the welterweight division right now. It's a mess right now, man. It's just a mess. And we shouldn't be saying it's a mess, man, because we've got, you know, I know he's been elevated, man, but big up to, you know, Norman Jr., man, the assassin too. We obviously had his dad on yesterday via, you know, Neutral, so big up to Neutral as well on that. I just want to see these guys unify. I want to see Norman Jr. versus Boots unification. I want to see Barrios versus Norman Jr. unification. I want to see these guys, Staniosis. Like, I want to see these guys fighting each other, man, so we can have one champion, one face, you know, one person carrying all the belts.
I think, if anything, if I'm honest with you, I think the division is open. I think it's better now, because before, you know, you had obviously Errol Spence, he had the majority of the belts, and Crawford, he had one of the belts. You know what I mean? And not everybody could fight the likes of Errol Spence or Crawford, but now everyone has an opportunity to challenge a world champion.
Yeah, even Raz saying, forget 147, it's all about 140 and 154. And can we argue with Ra? We can't really argue with him here, man, because of how, you know, the division's a bit of a mess, man. I can't even lie, man. But you're right. It could be seen as a mess to us fans, man. But for someone in that division, it's a great opportunity to clean up, man. So why not fight each other? Why not do the unification fights, man? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Boots. Is he going to still stay in the division? Obviously, Dan Evans is saying that I agree with Ra. 147 is dead. So, because the community is saying the division is dead.
I mean, Eubank, right? He wants big fights as well, right? So he's got the likes of Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders, and potentially Conor Ben. Now, if he doesn't get those fights, he has to challenge for a world title. He has to. Because at the moment, with Eubank Jr., is he campaigning at 160 or is it 168?
So currently at the moment, he will be campaigning at 160. So, but what he potentially wants to do, cuz, is he has said it, he does want to fight with Canelo at that May spot as well, man. So regardless, we could be seeing him just having a bit of a tune-up just to, you know, get his hands, you know, dirty so he's still active. And, you know, he wants that May slot with El Presidente. He wants Canelo. So, you know, he has to put in the statement. If he puts in the statement, gets that win, then, you know, potentially should Canelo win his fight, which, you know, we believe he should beat Biyenge next week as well. I know we're going to, you know, nearer to the weight, do a review on that. But because I don't mind, should Canelo, you know, get rid of Biyenge, and next year for that May slot, you know, Cinco de Mayo.
Just fight before we go on to Biyenge and Canelo.
Yep.
Right. Now, Eubank also said he doesn't mind fighting Crawford. Right? So, Eubank vs Crawford at 168. Who will win that fight?
Ooh, I would think it would be at 160 though. If he's fighting,
but here's the thing. If Crawford wants to fight Canelo, it will have to be at 168.
Yeah.
If Eubank Jr. is campaigning at 168, why won't Crawford fight him at 168?
No, so Eubank is campaigning at 160.
Yes.
He's happy to move up to a 168 to fight Canelo in May.
Yeah.
Crawford at the minute wants to kind of jump up those 2 slots to fight Canelo. But if Eubanks to fight Crawford, I think it would be at 160, man. I don't think they would do 168, man. It just, for me, it wouldn't make any sense, man.
Well, for me, it makes sense because think about it. Eubank is going to be moving up to 168 to fight Canelo, right? Crawford wants that Canelo fight. Obviously, he'll have to move up to 168. Why not fight Eubank? That could be like some sort of warm-up-ish fight for Crawford. But what I'm thinking, I think Eubank beats Crawford at 168.
Yeah, Crawford shouldn't even be thinking about moving up from 154. I
understand where you're coming from.
He just about won that fight with Madrimov, man. And that was a tough fight. I think this whole, those Canelo talks, man, I think he should just calm down a bit now, man. I think the next fight we should be thinking about, and I think you said it best, man. Fendora's the best opponent. I know this is what we want to see. The people want to see this fight, man, but it just doesn't make sense for me, man.
Right. You haven't answered my question. Who wins? Yeah. Crawford vs Eubank at 168. Everyone's saying it's nuts, yeah, but just deep what I'm saying, right? Crawford wants to jump up to 168 to fight Canelo, right? Well, for the belts, yeah. Now, Eubank also wants to jump up to 168 to fight Canelo, right? For the belts. Now, why can't we get Crawford, Eubank, and 168?
Because they're weight divisions for a reason, cuz, man. It's a bit of a fantasy for us thinking about Canelo and Crawford at 168. So I'm just thinking, yes, Eubank's not at that level, man, but it's still weight divisions for a reason. So I wouldn't want to entertain it. That's just my thing. But
no, I hear you. But my question is here, like, look, Crawford openly said that he's willing to fight Canelo. Also, we understand it. It's all about a payday. I get it. It'll be one of his biggest payday, right? But what I'm trying to say is, right, if he can't get Canelo, right, and Eubank is there at 168, who wins that fight? That's a question to you and the community. Crawford, Eubank Jr. at 168, who wins?
I don't think it's even a discussion, but it's an easy one for Eubank, man. Eubank wins it at 168, man. Eubank wins at 168. That's just my thing. But obviously, big up to FK Breeze as well, man. Bro, we ain't seen you in a minute, so it's good to see you, my brother. He's obviously saying that Conor Ben's disappointed me, cuz, look, not convinced. Look, Crawford, look, people are saying they're not convinced, cuz, man. Look, you're nuts to think Eubank beats Crawford. Eubank is undersized at 168, which is fair. It's a fair point. If he can't get the Canelo payday, does he really want to fight? I'm not sure, which is true. And I'd fancy Eubank at 168, but can't ever see it happening in a million years. Because everyone is saying it. Look, look, he doesn't want the tune-ups. He wants to go straight in there with world title people. So whatever division he's staying on, which is true. So that's why I'm saying Crawford stay at 154. Fendora's got, 2 belts. In potentially 2 fights, you could be undisputed, at 154. And, you could, that's it. He's good. You don't need to prove nothing to no one. That's just me. That's me, man. Because I don't think Canelo's entertaining that fight, cuz, man.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But it's funny how, before it was, Crawford vs Canelo, well, a potential fight, at 168, But now it's just like, okay, if you can't get Canelo, and Eubank's there, it's like nobody wants to see it happen, because it's just like, it's like he'll take a beating from Eubank.
Yeah, he would. I think it would
be a massive fight here in the UK, I reckon.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. But what I potentially see is just look, even FK Breeze is saying that it's a shame Crawford got blackballed. it's just one of them ones, man. At the time, yeah. So that's a great alternative. Beat Fundora, Zoo, undisputed. Look, 3 times. Cause this is what I'm thinking. I think this division, we're overlooking the rest of the fighters in 154. You know, Tim Zoo, Fundora, those are tough fights, man.
But do you know this?
Spence, actually.
Crawford is what, 36, right?
Mm.
He's getting on now. Now, I don't know if he's going to take these fights. I think he just wants the big payday. He said it. This is Crawford's era. Yeah. If he fights all of them in that division and beats them, I salute him. But if Canelo says, yeah, I'm open, he's jumping 168. He's taking that fight. You know. Yeah. Then again, like you said, in this division, see, he's 37 this month. In this division, yeah, there's going to be an upset. There's going to be an upset.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you, and big up to everyone in the chat that's getting involved. Once again, apologies for the previous stream. I'm not too sure what happened, man, but we're here. Lucy's obviously saying, look, he's 2 fights away from being the first male to be 3 times undisputed in the full belt era. This is why it makes sense, cuz this is why it makes sense for him to stay. If that's what he wants, maybe go up to 160. FK Breeze, big up to him. He's obviously saying legacy ain't enough to feed the family. We agree. 37 this month. Janabek moving up is what Dan is saying, and he's 37 at the end of the month, and he only fights once a year.
See,
boy.
And not just that, you got to think of it. Everyone in his division, yeah, who are currently champions, there's going to be rematch clause. Well, it depends on the contract, but I'm assuming there'll be rematch clause if he was to lose.
What? Like who, for example? Who do you think would have a rematch clause?
What's his name? Fundora.
Fundora. Yeah. I don't think he's that kind of guy, man. I think he's happy to just get stuck in. Whoever wins, wins. Money
talks. He's with PBC, right?
Al Heyman, yeah.
There you go. Al Heyman has to protect his assets.
Ooh.
But Crawford's a free agent.
He's a free agent right now, man. He is a free agent, man. But Fundora, he's got 2 belts, man. So he's in a position of power, in my opinion, man. So look, all Dan saying, if I'm Crawford, I would fight Virgil Ortiz. Honestly, why not? He's proved his legacy. Let's see some great realistic fights. It's potential. I don't think Crawford cares about being undefeated, which is true. As of now, he just wants money, which is true. And Crawford versus Zoo is a brilliant fight. This is what I'm saying. Let's have that fight. But obviously, you said it last week, you know, Zoo ain't got the title, man. So once Zoo gets the title, I'm hoping he does, you know, in his next few fights or whatever. And it could happen.
Crawford, if he doesn't fight Fundora, I've got a feeling it'll most probably be Errol Spence.
Let's have it. Let's have it. My boy is gonna have a second chance. You know, it's gonna
be the same, but you know, it's most likely, you know, it'll be Errol Spence, because I just think at this point, Crawford and his team, they're being strategic. They're being very, very smart. You know.
Ooh, so Zoo has a title shot in his next fight. So, if he grabs that IBF belt, it will make the division juicy. I can't even lie to you. And for me, Tim Zoo deserves it. I think Tim Zoo deserves it. So I can't believe Zoo didn't even have exactly. I know, because you know what, his team just assumed it was gonna be that fairy tale, come to the States, you know, win another title. And, you know, they didn't obviously protect their fight in that situation. But I think he still should have been champion, man, because of that situation. But we don't even need to get to that. But what does Spence have for Crawford? He doesn't have nothing right now, but...
Nothing.
He doesn't have...
It'll probably be more of a tune-up fight for Crawford again.
I know.
Yeah. If anything, Crawford is probably going to return the favor back. You know, so they can both make money.
Oh, like I said, man, obviously Lucy don't want to see it. It'll be torture, you know, for Spence. That's what Lucy's saying, man.
The only fight that I want to see Crawford in is that's if Boots moves up to 154. Let's just make it happen.
154. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it, man. I wouldn't mind to see that fight, man. I can't even lie. Just for the sake of, you know, him just being in a tougher fight, I want to kind of see it. It was meant to happen and it didn't happen. So, obviously, FK Breeze is saying Crawford beats Boots, which is fair. He should do because he's the better fighter. Let Spence fight. Ooh, Ericsson's lubing. I wouldn't mind that. That would be like a bit of a tune-up fight for Spence, but we know Spence don't like tune-up fights, man. That's the problem. Spence don't like tune-up fights. Crawford don't like tune-up fights. So why not both guys just, you know, get in there and have a tune-up fight? Do you know what I mean?
Real warriors. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So next week, you've got your boy, Canelo.
El Presidente de la Mexico. El Presidente, the face of boxing, is back. He's obviously going to be fighting Eda Balanga. Puerto Rico versus Mexico. Puerto Rico versus Mexico. I'm excited, cuz, man. It's always it's a good event when Canelo fights. And Canelo is actually putting his powers to play, man, because UFC, they've got the event and in their sphere as well. So, you know, anything goes, man. And I believe Oscar De La Hoya is actually going to the event, going to the sphere event just for the sake of it. Oscar
De La Hoya, man. We need him on the pod. Nah,
yeah. We're gonna get him on the pod, man. Every time, man, when he does his clapback Thursday slap, and Canelo, fuck you, man.
It's gonna be, look, like I said, it's gonna be an easy victory for Canelo. He says Belanga's gonna take an 8-round beating. It can even end before. But I believe Biyenge is a warrior. But, yeah, I just want to know after this fight, who's next? Who should Canelo fight next?
Who's next? I don't know if the people will agree with me. You know, just based on, you know, what he does in his next fight. You know. Why don't you give Eubank, man, that May slot, man? Just, let's have it. Cinco de Mayo. Maybe bring it here to England, maybe. And, yeah, I wouldn't mind it, man. I wouldn't mind to see Eubank versus Canelo next, you know. But I was still, I'm not going to lie, I would still want to, you know, potentially see that. Imagine you buying drinks from his fight. Yeah. He's on a different level. This is why I call him El Presidente of boxing. He's just that guy right now, man. Do you know what I mean? Canelo should fight Benavidez, but he won't. You know, Danu, that's the fight we want to see, man. But you know, we just can't see it. Look, imagine Canelo versus Eubank at Wembley. That would be last night. Let's have it.
That'd be massive.
Yeah, Canelo will say to Eubank, "Fuck you, man." or I wouldn't mind seeing Canelo versus Oscar De La Hoya. He'll come back for that fight, man. He would come back.
Man. Too old and too slow, man. Nah, no point.
He would come back for that fight, man. He would train his ass off to try and, you know, do something against Canelo, man, because you could see that there's genuine beef between them two. But look, the realistic, obviously, big up to Lucy. She obviously comes up with the realistic. It does look like it's going to be in Bealey, but it could be Janabek. You know, Janabek could move up. So, you know, the division 160 could be free of 2 belts. So there is an opportunity for Chris Eubank to collect some belts from the division, man. So I'm hoping Turkey, you know, is listening. You know, his team, Riyadh season, you know, give Eubank Junior the opportunity to, you know, have that title shot, because even though him and his dad, they don't, you know, go in the ring together, he still pays homage, you know, does that leap over the ropes, man, just to say, you know, look, dad, still respect you. And I like Eubank, man. He's not even a bad person at all, man. He's like Marmite. You hate him. Some people hate him, some people like him, man. So think Eubank will get better. I'm sorry, stupid, but Canelo versus Berto BF would be carnage. Woo! That would be, yeah, that would be explosions, man. Like boxing explosions. Nothing crazy, man. That would be absolutely mad. Yeah. I would love to see that, man. But yeah, cuz, man, obviously we did a bit of an extra shift for everyone. So once again, apologies for what happened in the last stream. Of course, we're not too sure about StreamYard. Sometimes these things happen, but at least we obviously did, you know, the half an hour for you people anyway. Next week, not next week, but this month, it is coming up. I know I scared everyone. It's coming up, man. It is coming up. Joshua Dubois. Boy, it's looking juicy, man. But what are you saying, cuz, man? What's your thoughts on that before we wrap up, man?
My thoughts are always the same.
Still the same.
They always say, yeah, the person running their mouth is the one who ends up getting knocked out. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Now let's see. Obviously, Dan can't wait. He's saying 2 weeks. Can't wait. I'm going. Yes, sir. Dan, you'll probably see us there, man. So big up to you, Dan, and big up to the people. Thank you so much, you know, for tuning in to the show. Once again, big up to the whole of the iBoxingHub family. Big up to Ra. Once again, he went to, you know, top tiers event. Johnny Clark done a tremendous job. Obviously, big up to him, and big up to Neutral on his show. I'm loving the Mr. Neutral Meet series. It was a really good show, and we've obviously got a short clip for the people that missed the clip from the first stream.
So again, like I said, it wasn't a case of pricing ourselves out or whatever. As we gave him a price, we told him what it was or whatever. We even came down off of our price, and I told him, okay, look, I want my son to just walk away with $1 million, or, you know, a little over $1 million. That way, when he spend a little bit of money, he'll still have $1 million. He couldn't even do that. We're gonna get to the bottom of this one way or another. We're gonna get him. We coming after him. He don't even have to worry about coming after us no more. We coming after him. At first chance we get, we're coming after him.
Wow! Now, big up to Brian Norman Sr. Just the energy, and big up to Abbas as well. He obviously had the interview with Malcolm the Menace Minicom, so I'm just going to play a short clip from that as well.
I just wanted to ask then, when you look at the landscape right now of Misfits, there's a couple of guys that people will say are 1 and 2 in terms of pound for pound ranking, probably be AT and D. Where do you see yourself fitting in terms of ranking side of things, and what do you need to do to possibly get to their level in terms of where people say Minicon's that guy now that is one of the true stars of the Misfits boxing scene?
I really feel like this next round in the tournament is gonna stamp my name into one of the people to worry about. I mean, there's some people on that list that I feel like I should definitely be above, but they proved themselves and I haven't. So I would say, I don't know, I'm definitely top 10, man.
Yes, obviously big up to Malcolm Minicom, who's obviously an influential fighter, and big up to Abbas. He's bringing the crossover scene to the channel, so you got big up to him. Big up to Aisha, big up to Rico as well. We've got some special plans that's happening, on the channel. So Banter and Boxing will be, part of the family officially very soon. So guys, just make sure you're tuned into that properly. And cuz I think just before we wrap up, of course, we've got to just let people know what the schedule is, of course. So Mondays, we've got Green Diamond Boxing, of course. We have Tuesday, Stay Weighed In with Abbas and Ray. And on the same day, we have Across the Way from the US to the UK. And then you've got, True Dollar Bill. And then you've got Rico. You've also got on Wednesdays, obviously the roundup with us. And on Thursdays, you've got R&R Arrow featuring Rico and Ron, the chat right now. Fridays, we've obviously got the crossover sometimes every bi-weekly, but we've got the hard talk on Fridays and Saturdays. If there's a specific watch along you want us to do, just drop us a message. We're more than happy to do it. And yep, we obviously round up the week with the boxing roundup, because that's literally all the shout outs. I just wanted to let everyone know, thank you so much for, bearing with us, for supporting us, for, just doing your part to help us grow the channel. We obviously got to a point with these shows, and I'll just tell a little story, that is past, for us. We generally just do it for the people. We do it for you guys. So sometimes if we're not feeling the best, we still, produce consistent content for you people. So yeah, big up to him. Big up, man.
Big up D-Rock.
Big up D-Rock as well. So guys, 40% off iBoxingHub 24, and guess what the range is? Yes, obviously big up to the people, and big up to FK Breeze as well, saying big up to you guys. And Dan, thank you so much for the feedback. We appreciate you and we love the energy as well. So cuz I'm obviously going to hand it to you, but big up to you, and thank you for doing the Sunday service for the boxing community. We appreciate you.
Too, man. You're always working behind the scene, etc. So guys, thank you all for your support. Keep supporting. We're growing. More things are coming, more features, etc. But have a lovely, productive week, and we shall see you on Wednesday. Peace and love.
It's another band. All the Muslim cars now, whichever get up. Light up my scars with a sweet one blaze. Someone flicks me a back body.